In the 1990s, a new class of wealthy individuals emerged in Russia known as oligarchs. These were not just ordinary businessmen, they were individuals who seized the moment during a time of great upheaval. These individuals amassed vast fortunes, often in questionable ways, during a period of rapid economic and political transformation. The collapse of the Soviet Union left a vacuum that these opportunists were quick to fill. They wielded significant influence over industries, media, and even the government. Their reach extended far beyond mere business. They became power brokers in the new Russian state. Understanding the rise of the Russian oligarchs requires a journey back to the tumultuous years following the collapse of the Soviet Union. It was a time of chaos and opportunity, where fortunes could be made overnight. The term oligarch itself speaks to their power. It signifies not just wealth but a concentration of power in the hands of a few. It refers not just to wealth but to a small group of individuals who control a significant portion of a country's economy and political system. These oligarchs were often seen as untouchable, their influence permeating every level of society. Their rise is a story of opportunity, ruthlessness, and a complex relationship with the Kremlin, particularly with Vladimir Putin. Putin's era marked a new chapter in the oligarchs' story, one where alliances were crucial. The legacy of the oligarchs continues to shape Russia today. Their impact is visible in the skyscrapers of Moscow, the luxurious lifestyles of the elite, and the ongoing political dynamics. Their influence can be seen in the country's economic landscape, its political system, and its place on the world stage. They are a testament to the enduring power of wealth and influence. Their story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the complexities of transitioning from communism to a market economy. It serves as a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change and the lasting impact of those changes. The Soviet Union's collapse in 1991 marked the end of an era, a monumental shift in global politics and economics. For decades, the communist state had controlled all aspects of the economy, from heavy industry to agriculture, leaving little room for private enterprise. With its demise, a power vacuum emerged, leaving a void that was quickly filled by those savvy and ruthless enough to seize it. The streets were filled with uncertainty and chaos as people grappled with the new reality. The once centralized economy was in shambles, with factories abandoned and infrastructure deteriorating rapidly. State-owned industries, from oil and gas to manufacturing and media, were up for grabs, creating a frenzied rush to claim these valuable assets. This period, known as shock therapy, saw a rapid and chaotic transition to a market-based system. Economic graphs showed a volatile market, and people lined up outside banks, unsure of what the future held. Amidst this turmoil, a select few saw an opportunity. Businessmen in suits roamed the streets, eyeing potential investments and stock prices. Former Soviet officials, businessmen with connections, and even some members of organized crime groups were able to leverage their positions and connections. They attended secretive meetings, plotting their next moves. They acquired vast assets at bargain prices, often using illegal or unethical means. Money exchanged hands in backroom deals, and documents were signed in haste. This chaotic period set the stage for the rise of the oligarchs. Wealthy businessmen emerged, attending high-profile meetings and living in opulent mansions. In the scramble for wealth and power, they took advantage of a system in flux, accumulating wealth and influence that would shape Russia for decades to come. The skyline of Moscow changed, reflecting the new era of opulence and disparity. Central to the oligarchs' rise was the controversial loans for shares program in the mid-1990s. This program was a pivotal moment in Russia's economic history, marking a significant shift in the ownership of the country's most valuable assets. This scheme allowed a select few to acquire stakes in some of Russia's most valuable state-owned companies in exchange for loans to the cash-strapped government. These transactions were often shrouded in secrecy and lacked transparency, raising questions about their legitimacy. These loans, however, were often never repaid, and the auctions were rigged in favor of those with insider connections. The process was marred by corruption, with many deals being made behind closed doors. This resulted in a massive transfer of wealth from the state to private hands, creating a new class of billionaires practically overnight. The scale of this wealth transfer was unprecedented and had far-reaching consequences for the Russian economy. These newly minted oligarchs wasted no time in consolidating their control. They quickly established themselves as powerful figures in both the economic and political spheres. They used their newfound wealth to influence politicians, manipulate markets, and silence critics. Their influence extended beyond business, affecting the very fabric of Russian society. They gained control of media outlets, shaping public opinion and silencing dissent. By controlling the narrative, they ensured their actions went largely unchallenged. The privatisation process, while intended to transition Russia to a market economy, had a darker side. It was supposed to democratize wealth, but instead it concentrated power in the hands of a few. It laid the foundation for an oligarchic system, where wealth and power were concentrated in the hands of a select few. This system created significant barriers to economic mobility and entrenched social inequalities. This period had a profound impact on Russian society, leading to widespread inequality and undermining the rule of law. The social unrest and protests that followed were a direct response to the growing disparities and the perceived injustices of the privatization process.